So I want to work with a metaphor today of a river flowing through us, okay? And a river flows through it. Well, it's a river flows through us today. And so the way the metaphor I'm seeing it, hopefully it makes sense to you too, is when we walk with our hearts open, we allow ourselves to be touched by more things, emotionally touched. We allow ourselves to feel and have more empathy, and we're not pushing away the energy. We're allowing energy in of the various experiences, relationships that we're in. Perhaps it's an intimate relationship or a deep friendship, or we're just being more open and empathic. Our hearts just open more. Okay, so then that river of energy, of experience is able to touch us, at a deeper level. We're allowing it in deeper than maybe we did before, hopefully, and when it does that, this river, in my metaphor, is gonna bump into, or maybe flow around, but it's gonna encounter these boulders in the stream. Maybe it's like I go out to the Deschutes River here in Bend, and there's boulders in the stream, and so the river is encountering these boulders, and what these boulders represent in my metaphor here is they're like wounds. Okay, they're incomplete experiences. You could think of them as like in the body. What they kind of feel like to me is they're just like these little packets of wounded energy. Okay, and that we're allowing ourselves to be touched deeper. So then the river of the energy of the experience, our awareness touches and encounters these wounds, and they come up, And so I want to see these as opportunities, because just the very fact that you're allowing your consciousness, your conscious awareness to touch these things and bump into, that is healing in itself. Okay, but there's huge opportunity for healing. And then, of course, as you've probably noticed, then often there's feelings, okay? Feelings that we didn't allow ourselves to feel at the time that the wound happened. It could be our childhood, it could be our adolescence, it could be past relationships that we have these wounds. And then we get back in a relationship, we allow ourselves to be in love again, or whatever that is. And then all of a sudden, we're bumping into these boulders and these wounds. And so if we can allow ourselves to kind of just feel these little packets of energy, we allow ourselves to feel these wounds, it can be incredibly healing. Okay, it's not always fun or enjoyable. Sometimes we're feeling things that we obviously didn't want to feel the first time around, which is why we kind of maybe suppressed them or stuffed them. So now it can feel like maybe not a real pleasant experience, okay? And then I think often we look at these things, these events, these opportunities, we look at them negatively, like, oh, I got triggered, or I went into my stuff, or whatever else. And sure, when we get triggered, you want to try to stay in your body, you want to try to stay open for sure. But as you stay open, there's also the other side of a trigger is there's huge opportunity, because our consciousness is encountering these wounds that we can now heal. And like I said, just shining the light of I call it shining the light of your awareness onto these wounds is healing. And then if we allow ourselves to feel them, in a sense, we're completing them, and then it releases this wounded energy, this packet of wounded, it gets to kind of disperse and release, And I remember my teacher used to say, welcome your karma. And I was just like, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but like, welcome your karma. And he was referring to karma as like unfinished business, like incomplete experiences, like welcome that and embrace it. And because that's where all the good stuff is, as from a healing perspective. And so anyway, that's my video for this week. And so as you go into your week, if, allow that energy in, And then if you do bump into a boulder or a wound, is just maybe you could say, well, hello, old friend. It's like, I remember you. You're that wound of what happened when I was in high school or junior high. We'll go junior high. It can be a painful time. You're that wound of like when the cool kids wouldn't let me hang out with them. I remember you. Ouch. Yeah, that was no good. And now I'm kind of feeling this now because, you know, maybe I didn't get invited to a party at work or whatever. And oh, there it is. You know, so my challenge or my invitation is allow yourself to feel it, you know, and allow some healing to happen. And so that is my video for this week, as I said before. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I hope you have an amazing week and that you allow that river to flow through you and maybe heal some wounds. I will see you in a week.